mark the start of rainy season. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. New puddles open under the station cornerstones. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Clouded roofs fade behind rows. Transparent umbrellas. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Early showers darken seams between the pavement blocks. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Station 6 station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished rain beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished rain within clouded rain. Fresh drops trace circles on the vinyl surface. Railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Passing bus vents reflections along the curbside stones. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. New puddles doubles open under the station cornerstones. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Transparent umbrellas mark the start of rainy season. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark scenes. Early showers darken seams between the pavement blocks. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tile station paths. Commuters pass through reflection drawn stone. Walk stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Fish remain, puddles open under the station cornerstones. First rain beats across the clear canopy. Rain taps metal poles beside the corners, signal silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent from the crowd. Transparent umbrellas mark the start of rainy season. Small rain trails slide across the crossing mirror. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Thin drizzle follows commuters from the station gate. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Station stairs carry shoe sounds into morning haze. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Misted window panes reflect the first umbrella line. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. First rain beads across the clear umbrella canopy. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Early rain folds itself around the avenue corner. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Thin drizzle follows commuters from the station gate. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Station stairs carry shoe sounds into morning haze. Passing bus bend reflections along the curbside stones. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished silence beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished silence within clouded rain. Section 7 misted window panes reflect the first umbrella line. New puddles open under the station cornerstones. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Section 8 traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Office bags swing beside coats in gray net sleeves. Station stairs carry shoe sounds into morning haze. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Small rain trails slide across the crossing mirror. Fresh drops trace circles on the vinyl surface. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Early rain folds folds itself around the avenue corner. Section 11, thin drizzle follows commuters from the station gate. Water gathers onto shoes at the traffic light. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Small rain trails slide across the crossing mirror. Station stairs carry shoe sounds into morning haze. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished silence beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished silence within clouded rain. Early rain folds itself around the avenue corner. Misted window panes reflect the first umbrella line. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone wall. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Section 14, taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Section 15, small rain trails slide across the crossing near. Then drizzle follows commuters from the station gate. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and wet stones. Leather shoes press ripples into the roadside water. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Station to station, announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Walking silhouettes pass through the gray cardigan crowd. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. People move in pairs beneath transparent umbrella arcs. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Fresh drops trace circles on the vinyl surface. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Walking silhouettes pass through the gray cardigan crowd. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Section 6, traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. People move in pairs beneath transparent umbrella arcs. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished light beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished light within clouded rain. Section 7, footsteps across the signal before the rain deepens. sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Section 8 commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Section 9 walking silhouettes pass through the gray cardigan crowd. Leather shoes press ripples into the roadside water. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Section 10 new puddles open under the station cornerstones. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Water gathers on the shoes at the traffic light. People move in pairs beneath transparent umbrella arcs. Footsteps cross the signal before the rain deepens. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain. Washed road, rain beds down windows beside the station arcade. Walking silhouettes pass through the gray cardigan crowd. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished light beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished light within clouded rain. Section 13 footsteps cross the signal before the rain deepens. Commuter steps measure time across the soaked stones. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Section 14 convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Section 15 commuter steps measure time across the soaked stones. Leather shoes press ripples into the roadside water. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Evening gathers round signs, rails, and wet stones. Section muted beige umbrellas mix with silver street reflections. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Navy fabric glows through layers of clear vinyl. Traffic signal stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Fresh drops trace circles on the vinyl surface. Gray, cream, and blue gather near the signal. Section 3 umbrella colors dissolve inside puddles at the corner. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Muted beige umbrellas mix with silver street reflections. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Taxi the signal. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Clear canopies tint each shade with rainy glass. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Section 6 bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished pavement beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished pavement within clouded rain. Umbrella colors dissolve inside puddles at the corner. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Section 8 clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station pads. First rain beads across the clear umbrella canopy. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Section 9 navy fabric glows through layers of clear vinyl. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Section 10 underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Section 11 clear canopies tint each shade with rainy glass. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk railings. Shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Section 12 cloudy roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished pavement beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished pavement within clouded rain. Section 13 muted beige umbrellas mix with silver street reflections. Navy fabric glows through layers of clear vinyl. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Section 14 crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Section 15 umbrella colors dissolve inside puddles at the corner. Gray, cream, and blue gather near the signal. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and wet stones. A small ribbon knot rests against the cardigan. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Section muted fabric loops catch reflections from station glass. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Section 3, nude fabric loops catch reflections from station glass. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. The ribbon edge trembles beside the wet sleeve. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Section 5, ribbon and sway above the rain-washed stones. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Section 6, muted fabric loops catch reflections from station glass. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished station beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished station within clouded rain. The ribbon edge trembles beside the wet sleeve. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Section 8, office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Section 9, a small ribbon knot rests against the cardigan. Ribbon and sway above the rain-washed stones. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Section 10, underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Section 11, rain darkens the ribbon near the umbrella handle. A small ribbon knot rests against the cardigan. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Section 12, clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Muted fabric loops catch reflections from station glass. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished station beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished station within clouded rain. Section 13, ribbon and sway above the rain-washed stones. Rain darkens the ribbon near the umbrella handle. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Section 14, transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossing. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Section 15, a small ribbon knot rests against the cardigan. The ribbon edge trembles beside the wet sleeve. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and whetstones. Shop signboards glow behind rain on transparent vinyl. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Section 2 neon letters bend inside the crossing water. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Menu boards fade through mist along the storefront. Menu boards fade through mist along the storefront. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Rain taps metal poles beside the corners signal. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Station signs ripple across puddles under the curb. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished avenue beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished avenue within clouded rain. Section 7 vertical signs lean into the rain-soaked avenue. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Station signs ripple across puddles under the curb. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Section 9 shop signboards glow behind rain on transparent vinyl. Vertical signs lean into the rain-soaked avenue. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Passing bus bend reflections along the curbside stones. Section 10 railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Section 11 station signs ripple across puddles under the curb. Neon letters bend inside the crossing water. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Section 12 Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Shop signboards glow behind rain on transparent vinyl. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished avenue beside whetstones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished avenue within clouded rain. Section 13. Vertical signs lean into the rain-soaked avenue. Menu boards fade through mist along the storefront. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Section 14. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Section 15. Neon letters bend inside the crossing water. Station signs ripple across puddles under the curb. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and whetstones. Section dribbles divide the streetlight into silver fragments. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Rain rings widen across the shallow crossing pool. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Section 2. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Water planes tremble under signals and passing shoes. Section 3. Puddle surfaces open like mirrors between stone seams. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across whetstone crossings. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Section 4. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefront. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Water planes tremble under signals and passing shoes. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Reflected windows drift across the flooded curbside stone. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stone. Section 6. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished mirror beside whetstones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished mirror within clouded rain. Ripples divide the streetlight into silver fragments. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Section 8. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Convenience convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Section 9, rain rings widen across the shallow crossing pool. Puddle surface is open like mirrors between stone seams. Railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Section 10, underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Section 11, reflected windows drift across the flooded curbside stone. Rain rings widen across the shallow crossing pool. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Section 12, clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Water planes tremble under signals and passing shoes. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished mirror beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished mirror within clouded rain. Section 13, puddle surfaces open like mirrors between stone seams. Rain rings widen across the shallow crossing pool. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Section 14, clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Section 15, ripples divide the streetlight into silver fragments. Reflected windows drift across the flooded curbside stone. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and wet stones. Section 1, footfall patterns travel toward the station stairs. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Walking lines form beneath umbrellas at the signal. New to cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. The crowd advances through rain with outspoken names. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Steps pass in rhythm across the stone pavement. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Walking lines form beneath umbrellas at the signal. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Shoe soles lift water from the crossing edge. First rain beads across the clear umbrella canopy. Section 6, office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Footfall patterns travel toward the station stairs. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished footsteps beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished footsteps within clouded rain. Shoe soles lift water from the crossing edge. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddle. Station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Section 9, the crowd advances through rain without spoken names. Steps pass in rhythm across the stone pavement. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tile station paths. Section 10, convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Section 11, walking lines form beneath umbrellas at the signal. Footfall patterns travel toward the station stairs. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Steps pass in rhythm across the stone pavement. The crowd advances through rain without spoken names. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished footsteps beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished footsteps within clouded rain. Shoe soles lift water from the crossing edge. Walking lines form beneath umbrellas at the signal. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain washed road. Section 14, crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Section 15, footfall patterns travel toward the station stairs. The crowd advances through rain without spoken names. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tile station paths. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and wet stones. Yellow lamps soften the gray cardigan silhouette. Golden reflections spread across puddles near the cafe. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Section 2, copper light gathers around rails and wet stones. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. First rain beats across the clear umbrella canopy. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Yellow lamps soften the gray cardigan silhouette. across the rain-washed road. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Section 5, warm signs settle inside the transparent umbrella glass. Convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Section 6, station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Warm signs settle inside the transparent umbrella glass. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished glow beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished glow within clouded rain. Section 7, golden reflections spread across puddles near the cafe. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Section 8, crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Section 9, amber windows warm the rain along the avenue. Copper light gathers around rails and wet stones. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Section 11, warm signs settle inside the transparent umbrella glass. Amber windows warm the rain along the avenue. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Section 12, golden reflections spread across puddles near the cafe. Copper light gathers around rails and wet stones. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished glow beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished glow within clouded rain. Yellow lamps soften the gray cardigan silhouette. Amber windows warm the rain along the avenue. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Section 14, glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Section 15, copper light gathers around rails and wet stones. Golden reflections spread across puddles near the cafe. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tile station pass. Evening gathers around signs, rails, and wet stones. Section 1, streetlight beads cling to final umbrella curves. Lamp halos gather under transparent umbrella rims. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Rain taps metal poles beside the corner signal. Section 2, railings shine beside puddles along the station entrance. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Streetlights bloom across puddles on the stone path. Section 3, streetlight beads cling to vinyl umbrella curves. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Clear vinyl domes reveal faces beneath muted city light. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Section 4, apartment windows blur behind the transparent umbrella crowd. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Stone tiles keep footsteps within their dark seams. Water gathers under shoes at the traffic light. Section 5, tall poles cast gold across the damp avenue. Clouded roofs fade behind rows of transparent umbrellas. Amber pools form beneath the corner lamp. Clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Section 6, station announcements drift through corridors beneath cloud cover. Glass storefronts carry rain trails beside closed awnings. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished lamps beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished lamps within clouded rain. Section 7, streetlights bloom across puddles on the stone path. Bike wheels cut small rings through roadside puddles. Silver handrails guide commuters toward the platform stairs. Rain threads down windows beside the station arcade. Section 8, convenience store doors glow against the wet avenue. Clouded sky rests above the calm commercial avenue. Passing buses bend reflections along the curbside stones. Distant trains shake glass along quiet storefronts. Section 9, lamp halos gather under transparent umbrella rims. Amber pools form beneath the corner lamp. Office bags swing beside coats and gray knit sleeves. Muted cafe speakers leak rhythms through the wet glass. Section 10, umbrella ribs draw circles against the pale sky. Underground stairs breathe warmth into the damp avenue. Rain marks gather across the dark stone pavement. Commuters pass through reflections on the stone walk. Section 11, streetlight beads cling to vinyl umbrella curves. Tall poles cast gold across the damp avenue. Transparent umbrellas gather reflections across wet stone crossings. Traffic signals stain puddles across the narrow crossing. Section 12, streetlights bloom across puddles on the stone path. Station windows hold silver streaks from passing commuters. Transparent umbrellas hold unfinished lamps beside wet stones. Transparent umbrellas keep unfinished lamps within clouded rain. Section 13, lamp halos gather under transparent umbrella rims. Amber pools form beneath the corner lamp. Taxi lamps stretch lines across the rain-washed road. Gray cardigan sleeves brush moisture along tiled station paths. Section 14, clear umbrella handles turn above the crossing stones. Water gathers onto shoes at the traffic light. Crosswalk paint breaks into fragments inside shallow water. Distant trains shake the glass along quiet storefronts. Section 15, tall poles cast gold across the damp avenue. Streetlight beads cling to vinyl signs.